networking, where you get together with a group of people who own or run businesses, where you get together in a group and maybe share stories with people. Networking is kind of a passion of yours, and getting it done right is a big part of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You want to spend a little bit of time talking about that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to, Al. I mean, we could talk about this for hours and hours, and I know we don't have that much time, but because I don't like selling insurance,
Mm-hmm.
and cold calling is something that you'd have to put a gun to my head to get me to do, and because I, again, like to have relationships with people, I look to attract clients in a softer way. And the ideal client introduction comes from somebody that they know, like, and trust, and has some idea that we might be a good fit to have a conversation.
Okay.
And so networking to me is a great way to meet people, to have conversations with. Unfortunately, most people think of networking, they think of, your local chamber of commerce or,
Right.
one of those structured, networking groups that you join and pay dues for, and there's the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, and
Mm-hmm.
people do what I call show up and throw up.
Mm.
Basically, they meet you, shake your hand, shove a business card at you, and start telling you all about themselves and what they do, and, you certainly would be interested, wouldn't you? And I don't respond well to that, and I don't think most people do. So there's a book that I read a while back, actually several years ago, called The Go-Giver by
Mm-hmm.
Bob Berg and John David Mann. And one of the things I learned in that book is that all things being equal, people do business with and refer people who they know, like, and trust. And you don't develop know, like, and trust in a chance encounter at a local network meeting or a chamber or something like that.
Okay.
It requires some time and some intention. And so when I meet with somebody at a networking group meeting, like, Beacon, which used to be the Greater Philadelphia Senior Executives Group that I've been a member of almost 8 years,
Mm-hmm.
you meet somebody, you have a 3-minute conversation, you exchange cards, you can pretty much determine at that point whether you might want to continue the conversation. Then you get connected on LinkedIn, and you schedule a meeting at Starbucks or Panera to have coffee.
Okay.
When you get together with them to have coffee, my standard operating procedure is before my butt hits the seat, I'm asking them a good question
Mm-hmm.
about them.
Okay.
And where do I get the good question? Well, I go to their LinkedIn profile and I dig down and try to find something about their interests
Mm-hmm.
or about something they've done in the past that may not be in alignment with what they're doing now.
Okay.
Because I want to get a good conversation going, and I want to start to develop that know, like, and trust as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And so I've probably conservatively had 800 or 900 of these conversations over the last 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
And I've learned a tremendous amount from a lot of people as a result, and frankly, some of my best friends I've met through that type of an encounter,
Mm-hmm.
where it ended up being another conversation and then another conversation.
I got
But
it.
when you're looking to genuinely understand what matters to the other person and find out enough about their why, as Simon Sinek would say, to figure out how you can help them and how you can make what I call a right fit introduction,
Mm-hmm.
now you're really doing something. Now you're becoming what I call a connector.
Okay.
And
Not a network.
Effective networking is about becoming a connector,
Okay.
where you know enough about the person that you're referring and the person that you're referring them to, so that there's a very high probability that both parties are going to end up appreciating that introduction.
Great. That's now, and this has worked for you in your business?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Now, when you approach networking with this go-giver philosophy,
Mm-hmm.
or what Zig Ziglar said, you get everything in life you want when you help enough other people get what they want,
Mm-hmm.
you're paying it forward all the time. It's all about the other person, not about me.
Okay.
I mean, I've had meetings with people where 30, 45 minutes into the meeting, they're like, Bill, this is enough about me. Let's talk about you. What do you do? Or how can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, by that time, I've built up so much escrow with them, relationship escrow, that they're going to probably, at the very least, be interested in what I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
And they may actually remember it. And of course, also, people are always in their own head. And they're hopefully, by this point, thinking about their LinkedIn connections
Right.
and who they know that they could introduce me to as they start to understand more about what I do,
Okay.
because they've already gotten an understanding about who I am
Oh,
and
great.
how I am.